Okay.
We are joined now by Gene Simmons from KISS.
Oh,
Gene,
thank goodness.
You're not with KISS right now. That tour, your international or your overseas tour, starts May 1st. Gene, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Another day
it's
above ground doesn't suck.
It's great to hear from you. Now, you're part of a big get-together down at Southwind Casino on April 6th down in Oklahoma. Tell us a little bit about that and your involvement.
Well, here's the short and simple. KISS is celebrating our 43rd anniversary, being America's #1 gold record champions of all time in all categories. No other group touches us. And I mean that because I love the sound of my own voice. Additionally, we go to Europe and start the European tour May 1st, May Day, in Moscow. We hear Senor Putin is making certain inquiries about, of course, they don't talk about this, but there's a chance he's going to show up. In either case, before then, the month of April, I'm kind of free. So we broke ground in Bremen, Oklahoma, on our first Rock and Bruce casino and resort recently. That's our restaurant chain. That's all over the world. But that also means that we're going into the casino and resort business. And Pam Shaw, who is the head person with the Caw Nation, was starting to talk about this event they're having on April 6th. Who can we get to headline our April 6th event? That's going to be an all-day event right here in Bremen, Oklahoma. And I said, how about Gene Simmons Band? Started doing a few gigs recently on my time off with a Crackerjack group of guys that back up Kid Rock and lots of other guys. And we have a ball. So April 6th at Bremen, Oklahoma, you can go to southwindcasino.com. Is that it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Southwind Casino. There you go. Southwindcasino.com. I just said that to get you to say yes, sir, so I can say, oh, southwindcasino.com again, as opposed to Southwind any other. It is. You're correct. It is southwindcasino.com to find out the who, what, when, where, and how. And actually, the festivities start at noon. We're going to be hitting the stage when it gets dark. But all day, you've got great local bands, cool people, hot food, thin women, or all variations of the above.
What's the website again, Gene?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. You're a powerful and attractive man. Has anybody ever said that to you?
Several.
Southwindcasino.com.
You've got that marketing thing down.
Well, it's either that or flipping burgers. What can I say? There's nothing wrong with flipping burgers either. Got to eat.
Have you met Vladimir Putin before, or would this be potentially the first time? And is that some kind of diplomatic mission you might end up being on?
There was a private event, but I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Okay, well, just make sure your phones aren't tapped or anything like that when you're over there.
Oh, I don't care. I welcome anybody to tap. I could give a spot. I don't care if America or Russia or anybody else listens in. If their lives are that boring, just whoop it up. Listen to me. I'm interesting.
We're talking with Gene Simmons, and he's going to headline a concert April 6th down in Bremen, Oklahoma at the Southwind Casino. But then you're going out on tour with KISS. How many tours does this make? Do you have any idea, Gene?
Oh, good Lord. I have no idea. But over the years, I'm sure we've played to, 25 million people, something like that. We've been around 43 years.
That's an amazing run. Is it still as fun today as it was back in the day? Are you still having as much fun?
It's different, but it's much better. You remember the first time you were with a little pretty girl?
No.
You didn't know what to do with it. You didn't know what to do, and it was too fast, and that's what she said and all that. And before you know it, it was over. You know, the more you do it, the more you can see the long picture, the coasting, the ability to kind of not just jab, but go for the knockout when it's time. You know, the young bucks go in there and just keep swinging for the fences, and you can get knocked out right away. So it's much more satisfying going up on stage and knowing what we know. We're better players, we're in better physical shape, and all that.
Gene, you're 43 years on with KISS. That is absolutely remarkable, but not necessarily uncommon. It seems like a lot of bands from the 60s and from the 70s are continuing to tour. When did you know or feel like that you could make a lifelong endeavor out of being in one band or even just playing music?
I didn't know that. You know, anybody that tells you, oh yeah, as soon as I picked up the guitar, I knew I'd be doing this for 50 years. No, you don't know that. You're just so happy being able to get up on stage and make a complete spectacle out of yourself. In our case, in wearing more makeup and higher heels than your mommy ever wore. And also, of course, blowing some stuff up. I mean, we have more firepower than some third world countries. We have an awful lot of fun, in all seriousness, and we get a chance to play in front of the best fans in the world. So it doesn't get better than that.
Gene Simmons with us. He'll be again in Bremen, Oklahoma, April 6th, headlining what looks to be a really cool concert that starts at 2 p.m., doors open at 1. It's called Rockfest. We mentioned that you've been doing this a long time, and there are a lot of other bands that have been doing this a long time. How well do you get to know the guys in other bands that have been around forever, like Kiss?
Oh, God, we've known each other for decades and decades. It's difficult not to...
So who are some of your best friends from other bands, Gene?
Oh, I have no friends. I'm a loner.
You have no friends?
No, but I've met... spent a moment or two with Jagger and Richards and all that. In fact, Bob Dylan and I wrote a song together that is going to be coming up in a forthcoming project that I'm not supposed to talk about. But here I am talking about it.
You just can't. You can't hold stuff like that in. You've written a song with Bob Dylan.
Well, that's a singularity. There are lots of people who've been there and done that, but there is only one Bob Dylan. And I discovered the Van Halen boys and lots of other stuff. It's tough to walk around without bumping into another one, who's been around, especially if you've been around long.
Gene, do you think there is such a thing as a casual Kiss fan, or are they all just all in, die hard?
It's tough to be casual about a band that takes no prisoners when we get up on stage. I mean, I've met people who listen to the radio and they go, "Oh, I love that song," and then you go, "Who is it?" "Oh, I don't know, but I love that song." Well, that's nice, but that's not a fan. The fans, just go into it long haul. We have our Kiss cruises, which have thousands of fans from all over the world on these sold-out cruises, and we actually attend, and they have their entire bodies tattooed with our faces. They name their kids after our song titles. It's really something. The word fan comes from the word fanatic, and that's apropos.
Talking with Gene Simmons from Kiss. Do you have a favorite song of yours from over the years? Is it one that maybe is a little more obscure that you don't get to play as much? How do you view your?
That's a good one. See, you brought up a point, which is Gene Simmons' band gets a chance to do the stuff that Kiss will never play live. So I get a chance to do more obscure stuff off my solo records and what they used to call B-sides. So we're doing most of the set is obscure stuff that people will never hear Kiss play, although we did record them. And of course you'll hear Rock and Roll All Night. But any of the songs that I've sung over the years that weren't put into the Kiss set, I do on stage.
And I read you're doing Chuck Berry in lieu of his passing last week, or in honor of Chuck Berry, that you're doing some Chuck Berry in this show too.
We do that as well, but I heard during the middle of the show when we did one in Cleveland that Chuck Berry had passed away, and I looked over at the guys and said, pick a key. We're doing Johnny Be Good, and so we didn't rehearse anything. It just happened live on stage. And when you really think about it, this thing we do with electric guitars, that wouldn't be here without Chuck Berry, period. He's the guy that, sort of put the template down, the blueprint. And from Chuck, everything else began. Even Jimi Hendrix. Chuck Berry was one of the founding fathers. It was him, Little Richard, very few others.
Gene, how do you become the biggest band in the world? I doubt when you started Kiss in 1973 and 1974, that was something you even thought about. So when you realized that was within reach to become the biggest band in the world, what steps do you take? How do you get there?
I think you've got to care. I mean, it's a matter of having the right thing at the right place and the right time, I'll grant you. Try to write a few tunes that people kind of like. And the rest is just hard work. Treat every show you do as if it's the only and last show you will ever play in your life. And if God gives you, for instance, one 24-hour period to live, I'd like to think you're going to roll up your sleeves and live it up and give it your best. And that's what we do every show, which is why we introduce ourselves delusionally, I might add, but we believe every word of it. You wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world, Kiss. So if we throw down the gauntlet in front of ourselves, we're either delusional, crazy, or a combination of both of it. But we go out there, we aim to take no prisoners.
Or you deliver, which is what I know you want to do on a nightly basis. You've played in... Go ahead, Gene.
You don't think you can? On the day you don't think you can, get off the stage.
You've played all over the world numerous times. You've probably been in every one of the big cities more times than anyone can even imagine. Do you have any memories of playing here in Wichita, where we are?
I may have a few children running around. You never know.
Well, we hope not, Gene.
You're right. A little humor doesn't go a long way sometimes.
But you were here fairly recently when you played a show, I believe last fall or winter, that you played. Kiss played here in Wichita, and you've been here numerous times. And
we have a point of view. The point of view is we started out, we cut our teeth in hitting what people call the B markets, and we never called it that, because where you're born is where you're born. And I don't judge you by how tall your buildings are. I could care less. Cool people are cool people, and some of the best times we've ever had have been in Ypsilanti, Michigan, St. Joseph, places that people don't usually talk about, Davenport, Iowa. Because when you bring the full kit and caboodle, the full show, and show people that they don't have to drive 5 hours to get to someplace else, they really have, they can't, for one thing, they can't believe all that comes to their town, and they don't often get it. So I think they appreciate it even more.
Is there anything, Gene, that you haven't done in music that you'd like to do, or even in life, or somewhere you haven't played, or do you just treat every day like it's different and unique?
Every day is unique. I'm launching another magazine in a few months. I have another book coming out with HarperCollins called On Power. We have our Kiss cruises, the Kiss golf courses at the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas. We have a Kiss limo service, launching a family business in New York. If you don't know what a family office is, you can look that up, and they'll tell you it has to do with estate planning and other big words like gymnasium. I'm involved in lots of stuff, but nothing, and I mean nothing, is like being up on stage and being either in the band or Gene Simmons' band.
Well, Wichita is going to be the biggest metropolitan area closest to your Rock and Brews casino that's going to be coming to Bremen, Oklahoma. So we'll be seeing a lot of you, Gene. And thanks for your time on the show. Again, Gene will be in Bremen at the Southwind Casino on Thursday, April 6th. That show, he'll take the stage at 7:30, but the show runs all day long. We invite you to go to southwindcasino.com to inquire about tickets. Gene, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, boss. See you
all right. That is,
thanks, Gene.
That is Gene Simmons, folks.